All right, check, check, check. Okay, great. Everything looks good, and well, that's pretty much it. All right, beautiful. And so, I guess I am here. I am here again. And well, what day is it today? I think yeah, it was Saturday night, or well, basically it's the weekend. And basically, well, any of you who basically have off time, well, enjoy your day. And of course, everyone who want to come and watch, well, be sure to enjoy yourself. And anyway, first thing first, now that I'm here, so well, there's like something going on like along the way. Let's see. Okay, UFOs. I'm not sure whatever happening with with USA and the like. Right, I feel like they're suddenly like without context just dropping a lot of like news about aliens and stuff. Like, okay, at this point I either like truly believe this or this is like some bullshit to cover up something else. But I have no idea to what it is. Well, even then, okay, so I guess here I am. And all right, and so let me see this one first. Okay, all right, I'm setting up right now. So, something going on along the way. So the last time we pretty much talked about that Corsair start using the DDR5 memory chip from CXMT, which is a China's company made well basically memory chips, right? Which well I pretty much gonna welcome it all together. Like, okay, we have three companies, right? We have three companies that has been basically the king of the memory chips that control the whole supplies in the whole world, basically, which is straight up Samsung. And then there's like another one. Oh my God, Samsung, SK Hynix, and Micron. Well, which means like if they have basically signed an agreement with pretty much like make a special supplies to straight up AI in data center. Okay, then I guess that's like basically like the moment. Okay, we never get another memory chips for another RAM anymore because well we all done. Okay, so the moment CXM, the moment China enters basically the production service, well I'm gonna hope there will be another supply load. If they want to get out, if they choose to really cater to AI data center, and so be it. I mean, if they make more money from that way, rather than if they make more money from AI and data center, more from well basically local consumers or well basically general consumers who love to build PC and stuff like that, well it's them, right? And by the arrival of a new company, I think we're gonna go in a good situation right here. And so the next is well earlier today, actually not really earlier today, it's basically yesterday. So Assassin's Creed basically just kind of showing off like their loading screen for the drunk animation. And the first one, to be honest, I'm not gonna lie, this one look half ass. So this guy just running with the screen going around, right? Whereas in original, well, the MC actually is getting drunk. Like the animation are really specific. And so they up and so no worries, there will be RAM. So basically they have updated the animation now. Well, technically, if I were to say, this is straight up just the copy paste of the old animation, right? I mean, it looks straight like it. Well, I guess they don't have much budget for that, so whatever, I guess, at this point. And so, I'm not really talking about this news. I just realized that, basically, NVIDIA director Andrew Fee recently addressed the 100-hour monthly playtime limit introduced to GeForce Now paid performance and Ultimate tiers. So I really just maybe well, that's pretty much it. It's basically cloud gaming service, right? GeForce Now. So they actually have like a playtime limit, which well, it's 100 hours monthly. So this is pretty much I'm what do I need to say? Well, I guess this is pretty much like the maximum, like with today's technology, this is like the maximum we could get, or maybe this is like the maximum they could get because, well, you do cloud gaming and stuff. It's basically you playing with their computer, right? Their AI and their data center is basically the main engines that run the game. And so imagine that a lot of people using this service. So that's, I guess, a lot of people do actually use this service, hence why they pretty much limit the playtime hour for monthly, I guess. And so, well, I guess that's that, right? Not much to say about it, but well, to be honest, if I were to say, I'm not really agreeing to the concept of cloud computing. But then again, not everyone can afford a high-end technology. So, in the end of the day, this is like one of those things that pretty much like mandatory in the whole advancement of a civilization. Well, we pretty much ended up gonna be like getting some better servers in and well, I'm not gonna say it's distant future. It's pretty much like, let's just say about 5 to 10 years later, we really gonna get like a better service than this. I'm gonna guess like we no longer have like playtime limit. Do you know what this reminds me of? It's basically the internet service charge like in 2008. Well, it's still happening in my country, but I heard in USA there's no longer that kind of thing no longer happening. They pretty much have like a monthly, like monthly phone service, like yeah, internet service, and basically you just paid monthly for that, and you can use it however long you want, right? While the rest of the third world country pretty much still having this like limited service, limited internet service, which pretty much like okay, you paid for like 3 gigabyte per month. Okay, yeah, you know what I mean, right? And so that's pretty much it. And well, we're talking about now in still in China is that a China company. So basically, so China really try to up their technologies advancement. So basically, this is pretty much like one of their stepping foot, right? Other than the DDR5 memory chips, there's also other company which is called a Lease One Tech. So this is pretty much like already a long-standing company. They're pretty much already like on the memory chip service. Like if we're talking about like maybe 2004 or something in the USA, but then they're pretty much losing ground, right? And so they just they just return. They they go back to Shanghai and just become like a local company for that reason. And so they have launched their own basically a GPU, right? It's a graphic card called LX7G100. It's a new gaming graphic card that aims to compete with product like from Nvidia. Since well, we all know that I heard I if I do remember, Nvidia was forbidden to be well distributed to China, basically. So Jensen Huang's company, well, they cannot sell the product to China, and so for as far as I know, the only product that are allowed to go into China is straight up AMD, or like it's a company that pretty much utilize AMD technology. So AMD is pretty much like the big, well, pretty much at this point the only ground to it, right? But with the arrival of a new tech like this, well, looks like, so as far as I know, international pretty much already got three right now, right? The OG, well, I'm gonna straight up say OG because they're pretty much like the big wings back. Well, if we're talking about like 2015, right, with the GTX and stuff, straight up, it's gonna be Nvidia, and then nearing COVID timeline, we get basically I AMD straight up like straight up suddenly goes competitive mode and go and make like a lot of basically GPU, and basically now these two have become like a straight competitor against each other, right? With right now we're talking about like AI efficiency, which Nvidia goes with DLSS, while on the other hand, well, we got AMD with their FSR technologies, and then we pretty much got another new contender, which is Intel Arc, which is well pretty much Intel from Intel. It's straight up a GPU counterpart of it. Which well, Intel Arc already got like their own technology too for well this AI too. So pretty much we already have three, and with the upcoming List One Tech, we got another one. Holy shit. So they pretty much already benchmarked the technology, and basically the comparability is that this GPU comes with 12 gigabyte of GDDR6 memory, so it's pretty much like equal terms with well most of the uh basically like a previous version of RTX, right? And the price range is like about 3,000. It's in the range of 3,000 to 3,300 yuan, it, which pretty much equal to 436 to 435 US dollar. I guess this is because they're still new company. They're still like still new to this playground. That's why like for price range they still have no target audience yet, and like with all the money they spend on creating this technology, they're definitely losing a lot of money. So well, that's why this is a little bit higher. I guess it's pretty much like a bait. It's a bait and take, right? You either win or you either lose, simply put. And they only release about 1,000 units for the first launch batch, so they really are like losing a lot of money for like the R&D of these technologies. And if I do remember, basically, yeah, there you go. Early independent benchmark shows real world gaming performance landing closer. So basically, this GPU are comparable to RTX 3060 to RTX 4060, basically. So they pretty much like all on the middle ground of that, right? Between 3060 to 4060 by 20 to 70% in most titles, depending on the games and the setting. So yeah, they're pretty much like on the middle ground of well, I'm not if I do remember 3060 and 4060 is pretty much like already like alright on like a setting of balance in 8060 p like graphic and something. Well, it's decent, but if I were to say personally, for that, the price range for that quality, for the price range for that performance, it's still a little bit too high, right? I'm gonna expect like 3060 to 4060. That's still like on the range of at least $300, right? It's at least like 320, at most like 350 or 60. I forgot. Well, at least it's like on the 300 range. It's not over 400 range, definitely. So they need to do something about their price, definitely. And so the next will be the news about NASA. So basically, yesterday we got SpaceX launching this rocket ship that's pretty much like dropping a lot of like temporary satellites, which are definitely used for landscape and trajectory for their next rocket launch, right? So along the line with SpaceX doing it, the whole reason for them doing it is straight up for NASA ideas, because NASA already have like a planning set up. They plan to build a moon base. There you go. Man, I guess we already onto the next civilization advancement, huh? All right. You know what? I say good for them. I'm I guess well, I don't know when we will reach Mars, but I guess we're gonna reach Moon at this point, right? Okay, I'm out of battery. Fine by me. Okay, charging up. Great. And so, for the political news, straight up, Taiwan says over 100 Chinese ships have entered its territorial waters. I don't know what to say about that, but I feel like something's definitely going on, man. Like, okay, we already got like a lot of active wars happening, and can we spare another one, really? Well, who knows? And basically, Destiny 3 is not in active production, so there's not even any news about Destiny 3. And Bungie are planning, Bungie planning to do a significant layoff following the end of Destiny 2 development. See, Marathon didn't give them enough money, and so guess what? They're losing money. Sony losing money, and guess what? Layoff happens. All right, that's how it works. You make a shitty game, you well, you will got no money at all. You losing money, you losing ground. Well, guess what? That's what it is, right? You lose the game. Well, only thing I could say is like good luck for them on their next endeavor, on their next game, whatever that is, though. But to be honest, focusing on marathon is just a no go. Nope. I'm sorry, marathon's already flop. It's just it's just this amount of it's just this X amount of time until they're basically gonna be closing out, basically, right? There you go, end of service and everything, basically. Well, this is basically according to Bloomberg's Jason Schreier, though. But well, you could pretty much see that actually happening. And so another news is that maybe this is pretty much. I think this is still a speculation, but I straight up gonna say with the arrival of China CXMT RAM chips, right? I can see that in the future memory prices could collapse as China rapidly floods the market with DRAM and NAND chips. And as I said again, I don't give a shit for those who hungry for money. I only give a shit for the availability of this stuff on the market, all right? And if there are more contender, it means there are more items on the market, meaning I could get the stuff cheaper. And what happened for those who pretty much already like, well, one whole reason DRAM become way too expensive is because people hogging this thing up. All right, they say, okay, this is might be like a good chances to buy all of this thing in bulk, so that we could like sell them on skyrocket prices, right? And guess what? The arrival of CXMT, well, pretty much will make that not happening at all, right? So the moment the price goes back to normal, they're gonna be afraid out of their feet, and they're gonna sell every stock that they're hogging for this entire time. And guess what? I told you again, playing the waiting game will win regardless of what happened. So that's pretty much everything I need to talk about. And so 2027, every prices of gaming tech, every prices of like DRAM and everything, that all of them will go back to regular price starting 2027. All right. I'm not sure if it's gonna be like in middle or late 2027, but it's definitely on that exact year. So maybe that will be the perfect for any of you who want to build a PC. That will be the perfect time for you. Play the waiting game, win the prize regardless. All right, and so that's pretty much everything I need to say. And so now I want to straight up continue where I am basically. So, all right, let's see. Okay, let me start this team right away. So the last time, so looks like I do realize I tried fighting against Genichiro Ashina. I guess I'm not really well since I pretty much already forgot like most of the game. Well, and even then I'm not really good at the game, so I tried to go somewhere else, see if there's like any other boss I could fight against to, well, basically increase my vitality and my attack damage. Right, that's as far as I can see. And so alright, let me just go right up and let's start the game. And so I guess I'm just gonna do the opening. So here I go. Good day folks, so here I'm gonna recording this time. I'm going to continue playing Sekiro Shadow Die Twice. The last time, well, yo, waiting games won't work. GPU price will keep on increasing like gold by ASAP. Nah, look, China has entered the market. You think that will happen? I don't think so. Look, because like as far as I know on how China always do things, one thing they really excel at is they always destroy the market one way or another. This already happening over time and over time, right? Like, okay, a lot of people hogging, a lot of people pretty much like, let's say they're hogging all of this thing and holding them on, right? Yes, also that also happened back in PlayStation 5. And guess what Sony did? They're pretty much gonna make more of those PlayStation 5 and basically just flood the market with PlayStation 5, rendering those hoggers basically, well, nullified basically, right? They can no longer like sell all of those PlayStation 5 that they're holding at like a higher price anymore, since well, there's a lot of PlayStation 5 on the market straight up. This is already happening over and over time, right? We keep seeing this happening. In the end of the day, playing the waiting game will always wins regardless. So I'm telling you, 2027 we will win. Everything will go back to normal. And guess what? Now they have a new contender they need to fight against. Well, good luck for those company, I guess. Fuck China, no one buys their mobile, no one buys their GPU, which will be bust in 1 year. Oh boy, I'm not gonna lie. Maybe that's like the case for you personally or like for your country, but man, do I have to say you're goddamn wrong. In my country, guess who's the winning? Guess in my country is straight up a consumerism country, right? A lot of people literally buy phone even if they don't need a new phone. That's like how the state my country is. And guess which phone pretty much winning in the market category? All of them are Chinese made phone. I can start right away. We got Asus, we got Huawei straight up. That's a really Chinese looking name, right? We got Redmi, we got Poco, we got like blah 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 blah. I can keep naming more, but you pretty much got the gist. Even in phone, in my country, China winning. All right, it's only on my phone. It's only on my country, and I can tell you. Well, I don't think like basically anywhere else in the world, those who were waiting for PlayStation 5 to get cheaper, it was like $500 at launch, not after 6 years, 650. Well, it's because of fear. It's because of like the price increase of DRAM, right? I look that it's happening straight up because of that. They even say themselves because of the limited of DRAM, they have to increase their price. And guess what? 2027, when everything goes back to normal, their price drops. That's just how it is. We call it love. I'm sorry to say. And like who and even just look at the PlayStation 5 situation. Maybe this is from me speaking, but look, if we try to compare the first generation release of PlayStation 5 with basically the recent generation release of PlayStation 5, they are already like got different different technologies installed on them, right? Definitely the recent release have like a higher technologies compared to the first release. That's just how it is. Chinese phone only sells in third world countries. No one buys Chinese phone in Europe and USA. Well, I'm not sure about Europe. Well, I definitely know USA, definitely, but man, um, you see, the problem is, well, they don't have to conquer the Western market. All they need to do is to conquer the Eastern market, and I think they pretty much do well with that. To be honest, well, guess what? They keep doing it for as long as they're gonna keep making more money. That's just how it ends up, right? And on the other side, the only phone that able to bridge the Eastern market from the Western come is pretty much like which one is it? I can think of Apple. Not sure about any other else though. Semtech and PS5 were since launch. Really? I don't think so. I don't really think so. Maybe like everything looks like similar. Maybe like the RAM is similar. The well, maybe the RAM looks similar and like the GPU looks similar too. But I feel like there's definitely gonna be a difference. Like the version definitely gonna be different. So like the build quality definitely gonna be different and everything. I don't because I don't know. I've seen like I've seen in a way like the first release and then like the recent release, and basically compared with the Pro, like there's definitely like some difference along the way. High end GPU only sells in Europe, USA, Japan, Korea. In our country, still 1060 going on. Oh, 1060. Um, well, even that depend. Well, 1060. Um, I don't think so. Like a lot of people, well, as far as I know, a lot of people that I know that have like a gaming computer straight up have RTX already, man. Like at least they have like the 3060 at least, right? Now basically the only one who still have like the GTX series in my country is straight up only like the internet cafe or something. Well, that's pretty much like everything. Well, that's pretty much like how I see things. So I still feel like if we play the waiting game, we will ended up winning either way because like they afraid because like we see Samsung, SK Hynix, and Micron like they're afraid to make like a lot of those microchips, and because they definitely knew they're gonna crash the stock market. They're gonna crash the market price. They are afraid of doing it, and guess what? If they're not doing it, somebody else will. That's just how it is, right? Oh wait, we own the whole world. We pretty much distribute. We pretty much the only company that make this thing and distribute it to the whole world, right? So we holding it because we're afraid the market price will crash if we make a lot of it, right? Well, if well, guess what? They're not making it. Somebody else will. Well, I pretty much gonna welcome them either way. Well, so CXMT pretty much already being Corsair already the first company that used the CXMT's memory chips. So if Corsair want to use it, well, what's holding the others, right? I feel like Corsair is one of one of like a DRAM company that pretty much like I'm not gonna lie, one of my DRAMs on my laptop that I add is pretty much was made by Corsair, and they really have like a really good. They have like a good stuff going on, and like they have like a warranty of a lifetime. So basically, if their memory, if their RAM broken for whatever reason, you can change it for free. Basically, like maybe there's like monitor, but you know what I mean. It's a lifetime warranty basically. Our respective countries are fucked. Piracy is rampant. No one buys 4050 series GPU. Very few of those who buy mostly set up Apache LLM servers. Oh, well, regarding that, if what if what I want to talk about my country, as much as I can see, yeah, not a lot of people use 4050 series yet, and very few of those who buy mostly set up Apache LLM servers. Yeah, let's see about that. Well, to be honest, yeah, if we're talking about all of that, pretty much there's a lot, not really like the main target about like, if we're talking about like LLM servers, that's like still like a niche thing. Even if you're talking about like Europe, right? It's it is only a big thing for those like like those basically in the big country. We're talking about like maybe yeah, it's big in German or like something like it, but we're talking about like Romania or something. Well, it's pretty much on the other hand. You know what I'm talking about. Well, that's it's still niche. Like LLM still like a niche thing because like a lot of people don't even understand it. I can tell you that. But piracy, well, it's pretty much rampant everywhere else. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not even gonna count our country. I'm gonna count the whole world, and it's pretty much like still a famous thing to do. Basically, every place, everywhere. So yeah, it's nothing new. Like yeah, it's like that thing's still like the same as ever, and so yeah, that's pretty much it. All right, I guess I've been holding for a while, so I guess I'm just gonna start right away. So here I go. Good day, folks. So here I'm going to record it. This time I'm going to continue playing Sekiro. And the last time I'm pretty much like going around trying to find out where am I supposed to go, right? To upgrade, well, basically my vitality and my damage because it's solo. I forgot Genichiro got third phase and well, I got fucked. That's pretty much it. Well, you know what? Let's go straight to the game, shall we? And that's pretty much it. Point is GPU price will move only if Europe, USA buy Chinese GPU, which won't happen. No, 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 no. Yeah, of course. They don't have to buy Chinese GPU. Chinese GPU will well. This is like the same case with like China's phone, where basically they're like Huawei are forbidden to distribute into the line of USA. Well, not the rest of the world though. That's pretty much it, right? And like at this point, I pretty much, if I were to say, right, yeah, like that least one tag, they are still new to the ground, so of course they're definitely, and the first batch that they sold are pretty much like only 1,000 of them. They're only like 1,000 batch on their first release. So yeah, they're still new to the ground. I'm just gonna wait and see like how this work out. It's the same with how Nvidia pretty much like the master race back in 2015. They're like the only company that excels at GPU technologies until AMD enters the ground, and basically now they have contender. And then Intel Arc enters the ground. Now he got two contender. And guess what? You need a cheaper, you need a, well, like Fiji like Nvidia always plays like the exclusive high price quality stuff, and always like boasting about their DLSS. Well, on the other side, we got AMD with their cheaper prices with higher memory, with higher VRAM, right, which are designed for like overclock and stuff. So these two company have like a common ground. These two company have like their own specialties going on, and I'm pretty much gonna see like that Intel Arc will pretty much gonna do the same thing. You yourself use Chinese phone, but because you like lower middle income group, everyone here buys Apple and Samsung. Well, I can also see that, right? Yeah, of course, Apple and well, to be honest, I can see Apple still like booming because like their quality always like constant, right? Apple quality always constant, but on the other hand, Samsung, I have to tell you, like their price is way too high. It's like at this point they're not selling quality; they're only selling their name tags, right? I'm sorry. Look, Apple's got their name tags, and Apple's also at the same time got their qualities on tags. So that's why a lot of people still trust Apple straight up because they have both on common ground, right? While on the other hand, Samsung, I feel like they're starting to go on the lower side while their prices are straight up. I'm not gonna lie, bro. In my country, Samsung is even more expensive than Apple. Like, how does that work? How the fuck did Samsung become more expensive in my country than Apple? That the first question I even asked. Like, okay, at this point, y'all just fucking with people, right? And I've seen, and like as far as I see Samsung user in my country, they're start losing customer and stuff. Well, basically because they're taking their price way too high. Well, Apple pretty much like know their common ground and know where to put their price tag. Well, it's still expensive, but then again, Apple always been like a high end device, right? That's pretty much it. Well, Samsung, your wife has Apple iPhone, you have cheap as Chinese. Well, well. Hey, you you have no right to complain, all right? You got PlayStation 5 and you got the 4K Ultra HD TV for yourself, all right? So don't you dare complain on that. Okay. Well, anyway, that was funny. All right. You know what? I'm just gonna start again right away.